Healthcare is back on the ballot now. All right. Hello and welcome back to another episode of A Fresh Perspective with Jeff Charles, where we prefer truth over narrative and principles over politics. And today we're going to dive into something that always gets the political world riled up. Healthcare. Let's do it. Both Kamala Harris and J.D. Vance had some things to say about healthcare that were quite interesting, but if you've been watching me, you kind of already know where I'm going with this, right? But before I get into all that, you already know what to do. You need to like this, you need to share this, and you also need to subscribe. Smash that subscribe button as if it were a government regulation that you hate. And you hate all of them if you're watching this. So anyway, also check out my Substack, Chasing Liberty. You can access that at libertychasers.com. Become a subscriber there, support my work. I highly appreciate it. Now, let's go ahead. You know that one thing that we only seem to care about when an election rolls around, that one thing that we don't normally care about, but when it's time for an election, we do care about it. That kind of goes for everything, doesn't it? But this time I'm talking about healthcare. Apparently, it's back on the ballot, according to Vice President Kamala Harris, as if we needed more reminders that politicians are experts at recycling wedge issues. Now, here's the thing. Kamala Harris and her campaign are telling us that healthcare is back on the ballot. And I guess it wasn't enough that the last decade has been spent watching the government trying and failing to fix our ridiculously absurd healthcare system. But now, with Trump and J.D. Vance taking a crack at it, Democrats are all like, oh, this again. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Wow. Okay. Anyway, so I'll start with J.D. Vance. He is Trump's running mate, and he floated the idea of bringing back those high-risk insurance pools for folks who have pre-existing conditions. Now, these would obviously be subsidized by the state because why not, of course. And here's the thing. It's basically trying to dig up resurrect parts of the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare and bring back something that we already know doesn't work. But on the other hand, we've got Black Hillary, Kamala Harris. The vice president and her crew want to take this old debate and run with it because they know it's a surefire way to score some sympathy points. Now, Vance is supposedly going back to freedom of choice and promising to give us healthcare choices, which in Republican speak basically means we get to choose between going broke from premiums or hoping we never get sick. It's like the Hunger Games, but for your health insurance. Because we know that Republicans aren't going to do anything on healthcare. They've had the opportunity several times, and they said, oh, well, we were just kidding. We weren't really going to do anything about that. When politicians talk about choice, especially, Republicans, they say, good luck, you're on your own. It's kind of like when your mom asks you, do you want to choose between Brussels sprouts or okra? Yeah, it's a choice, but you're not winning either way. Now, to be fair, there are some Republicans who actually do want to get the government out of healthcare. There's just not very many of them. Matter of fact, there's probably only one, Thomas Massey. Anyway, but here's what neither side is addressing. Both Democrats and Republicans think that the solution to this mess is just more government involvement. Kamala Harris wants to expand the government's role in healthcare even beyond what it already is. Now, we know what she said in the past. She wants universal healthcare. She wants to get rid of private insurance companies. She's backed off of that for this election, but we all know she's lying. If Congress were to get a bill to her desk that would do exactly what she was saying before, universal healthcare, all funded by the government, no private insurance, do you really think she's going to veto it? Come on now. Of course she's not. She is going to sign that so fast that she'd probably rip the paper with the pen that she's signing it on. You guys already understand this if you've been watching me. The solution is to get the government out of the way, and I don't really understand what it's going to take to get people to see that. What if we let the free market do what it does best? Encourage competition and innovation. It's not perfect because there is no perfect solution, but if you can imagine a world where insurance companies, actually had to compete for your business by offering a better and more affordable care, or where pharmaceutical companies didn't need to charge an arm and a leg to make up for all the bureaucratic red tape and all the crap that the government puts in their way? What if there were more insurance companies and more pharmaceuticals that had to compete for your business? That would give you more control. We've already seen what happens when the government tries to run the show, right? We've got skyrocketing costs. We pay more for healthcare than any other developed nation. You've got doctors who are buried under paperwork. The patient-doctor relationship, yeah, that's pretty much gone because you've got all these middlemen between you and the doctor that you choose. You've got the government. You've got insurance companies deciding where you're going to get your care. You've got pharmaceutical companies deciding what kind of drugs you can get. We've got to stop pretending like the government can fix this. The government is the one that caused this problem in the first place with all the regulations and rules that they put in place. I've just scratched the surface of the government policies that contribute to this. You can check that out on my YouTube channel. But the basic idea is that the more the government gets involved, the worse it gets. So why don't we bring back power to the people, Power to the people to choose what healthcare they want instead of having insurance companies and the government and pharmaceutical companies who are in bed with the government decide what kind of healthcare you get. Let's lean in on health savings accounts, on direct primary care, on all these other solutions where you don't have to rely on the state or insurance companies to decide how you want to have your healthcare. Your money, you should be able to keep that money, and you should be able to invest it in your healthcare the way you see fit. Force these companies to compete with one another to get your business. That's going to drive down costs, not continuing to have the government pour money and resources into it. 18% of our GDP is spent on healthcare. It's absolutely ridiculous. This isn't sustainable, guys. We got to do something about this. So I get that it's not the sexiest issue in the world. It's not as sexy as Haitians eating cats and dogs and stuff like that. I get it. But this is what we should be focusing on, because it's going to get a lot worse in the future. You think it's bad now, it's going to get even worse. So I'll leave you with that. Let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts. And until next time, stay free, stay principled, and most importantly, stay ungovernable.